When developers come into any neighborhood, there are often questions about whether the new builds will change the feel of the community or if prices will drive out longtime residents.
But as KPRC2's Rowan Balogan explains, one developer in Acres Homes is working aggressively to bring former residents back.
Across Acres Homes, it's hard not to find for sale signs, construction, in new homes. For Warren Fitzgerald Muhammad, it's hard recognizing his childhood community.
Being a lifelong resident, that was a time when basically we knew each other in this community. But now the whole face of it is changing.
One of the biggest changes for him are the multi-story townhomes, a difference from the community's single-family houses.
I've talked with people in the community, and many people express the same concern, is that they're just piling them one on top of another.
Whenever developers come into particularly majority black neighborhoods, there's always the perception that this is gentrification. Do you think that's what's happening here?
Absolutely. It is gentrification. The property that an investor comes out here and sees once was owned by someone in this community, or at some point they were dispossessed of it. And at some point, people began to part with the property just because of the pressure of rising taxation. So it's a double-edged sword. When you own the property, it becomes a burden because of the cost of ownership without the benefit of the opportunity to develop in business.
3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 3 stories, the biggest house, the nicest house we have.
Gentrification, or forcing longtime residents out, is one thing Bruno Rodriguez and his dad, Cesar, are keenly aware of.
We realize that people want to live here that have grown up their whole life. They don't want to leave, and we don't want them to leave. And in fact, we want them to come back home. Even if they go off to college, we want them to come back here. And our hope is that we provide a value in that the product is at a good enough price to where they are able to still come.
This is why he says instead of pricing these homes for their worth, it's priced for the community.
How much would this type of home cost elsewhere?
Oh man, okay. This house specifically would go, it could go up to $1 million in anywhere else. In the Heights, maybe $600,000 to $800,000. We have our sales team up here having a meeting on pricing, specifically because as we were able to bring our costs low, we want to make sure that the cost for the end consumer is still able to be quite low.
Pricing was one of the topics for the Rodriguezes when they met with Muhammad and the Acres Homes Chamber of Commerce.
It was a benchmark because we had been trying to reach out to the developers in the community, and they responded and came and met with us.
Muhammad hopes to convince the Rodriguezes to get their investors to develop more than housing, particularly on a piece of land that was once in his family.
Back in the 1930s, my grandfather operated a full-service grocery store right here on this property up until the 60s. I loved it. I'd go in there and eat dreamsicles and ice cream. He'd run me out every day.
Reporting in Acres Homes, Rowan Balogan, KPRC 2 News.